Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yesterday we had discussed in regards to Tahajjud namaz and how Tahajjud was made fard upon Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And initially it was made fard upon the Sahaba as well, but later on this command was abrogated and Allah Ta'ala made it easy for the entire ummah. From here also there's a great lesson to take from here, that for the ulama, those that are the seniors, for them, they must go through difficulty, they must go through hardship. And for the ummah, make things very, very easy for the ummah. Allah Ta'ala made it easy for the ummah. But Nabi alayhi salam, who was his beloved, for him, tahajjud remained compulsory right till the end of his life. We find on one occasion, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was reading tahajjud namaz, and we can imagine what connection Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam had with Allah Ta'ala. In tahajjud namaz, the entire namaz, just one verse of the Quran. In tu'adhibhum fa innahum ibadu. That if you have to punish them, O Allah, then they are your servants. If Allah Ta'ala has to punish anyone, who can question Allah Ta'ala? Wa in taghfir lahum. And if you have to forgive them, O Allah, fa innaka antal azizul hakim. You are almighty, O Allah. You are full of wisdom. In your wisdom, you know why you have made your mark. On the day of Qiyamah, the greatest sinner, Allah Ta'ala says, you are free, you go into Jannah. Who is there to question Allah Ta'ala? Many times in dunya also we see people that we think that are not really so pious, but Allah gives them Jummah, they pass away on the day of Jummah. They are the people, many a time they pass away in the month of Ramadan, and no hisab kitab, in the qabr, free, just go through, green light for them. So Allah Ta'ala knows the position of everyone. On one occasion, Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi, Imam Saheb rahmatullahi also, Allah gave him the tawfiq. This was a karamat of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi, that 40 years he never slept. He read Tahajjud namaz, the same wudu. He read Isha namaz, the same wudu. He read Fajr namaz. One wudu, he never slept for a moment. On one occasion, he read the verse of the Quran, وَامْتَازُ الْيَوْمَ أَيُّهَا الْمُجْرِمُونَ. That, O criminals, O sinners, that today separate yourself. That today you don't come near the mu'mineen, don't come near the believers today on the day of Qiyamah. You go in a different line. The mu'mineen, they will go in a different line. Whole night, one verse of the Quran. Mufti Azizur Rahman Saheb rahmatullahi, the senior Mufti of Darul Deoband, he was reading the Tarawih Salah. He came to the 30th para and he read Surah At-Tariq, was Samai wa Tariq, and there he read Yawma Tubla Sarair. The day of Qiyamah is that day when all the secrets are going to be exposed of a person. In dunya, a man can think, I can duck and I can get away from my wife, I can get away from my children, I can get away from my parents. But on the day of Qiyamah, all the secrets of a person, everything is going to be exposed. And everyone is going to be present, from Adam alayhi salatu wasalam right up to the person that is before Qiyamah, that is born before Qiyamah. Everyone is present and everything is going to be played on the big screen. It is mentioned those that were reading Tarawih Salah behind Mufti Azizur Rahman Saheb rahmatullahi, they screamed, they cried out that what is going to happen to a person on the day of Qiyamah. This is how Quran should be read. A person should think of the meaning a little bit, and a person should read Quran Sharif in this manner. So imagine the Tarawih, the Tahajjud namaz of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It is mentioned just after the Tahajjud namaz of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, before the Fajr Salah, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to sleep for a little while. And what is the reason for this? Hazrat Hakim Saheb rahmatullahi beautifully he explained this. Why did he sleep for a little while? It is mentioned that Nabi alayhi salam, in that so many hours of tahajjud that he was reading, perhaps 3, 4, 5 hours, how many hours he was reading tahajjud namaz, his level also used to go very, very high. His connection with Allah Ta'ala used to be on a different level. And we insan, we are here on the earth. So we are on a different level altogether. We are on a very low level. And this was on a very, very high level. So to come back to the earth, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam used to sleep a little while. And then Hazrat Bilal radiallahu ta'ala used to come when it was time for salah. And he used to wake Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam up. On one occasion, Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam was about to take this rest. And Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala came. And she's speaking to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Nabi alayhi salam asked her, Man anti, who are you? That is his wife, his most beloved wife also. All the time with Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala. But he's on that high level now. So he didn't know who he's talking to. He's asking her, Man anti, who are you? So she said, Aisha. So then Nabi alayhi salam asked, Man Aisha? Which Aisha are you? So she said, Binti Abu Bakr. I'm the daughter of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala. So he said, Man Abu Bakr? Who is Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala? The most closest companion of Nabi alayhi salam. At that time, he doesn't know who's Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala. So then she says, Ibn Quhafa, the son of Quhafa. So this is the level Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam used to go to. And then he used to come down, he used to take that rest, come back to earth. And then Hazrat Bilal radiallahu ta'ala used to come and call Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam for the Fajr Salah. Then Nabi alayhi salam would read the 2 sunnats in his home. And then he used to proceed to the masjid for the Fajr Salah. Mawlana Tanvi Rahmatullah Alaihi, he never used to read the sunnat at home. Mawlana Tanvi Rahmatullah used to come in the masjid and used to read the sunnat namaz in the masjid. So then Mawlana Tanvi Rahmatullah Alaihi he said that if people don't understand me, he says many people will raise objections on me. He says that two people will be able to understand me. He says the first person, Bala ka alim ho, that person that got in-depth knowledge of deen, that person will be able to understand me who's got a lot of knowledge in him. And the second one, he said, Bala ka ashik ho, that person that got a lot of love for me, that person will be able to follow what I say. Because if you love somebody, whatever they say, you will go with that. So if you have in-depth knowledge of deen, and if you have a lot of love for me, then you're going to be able to follow me. Then Mawlana Tanvi Rahmatullah explained. He said, see, in the time of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, where was the room of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Today in the Haram Sharif. Today in the Haram, where the Roza Mubarak is, that is where the room of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is. And the Riyadul Jannah is actually two safs, only two safs, not that entire green carpet. We have a misunderstanding that the entire green carpet, that is Riyadul Jannah. No, that's not Riyadul Jannah. Riyadul Jannah, from the mimbar of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, only two safs is the Riyadul Jannah. We also didn't know this. One Fajr morning, they thinking that this is Riyadul Jannah. I was in the third saf. So one Arab brother, I just shook hands with him. I greeted him before the Fajr Salah. When I saw the way he was making ibadat, I was so impressed. Elderly person, he tied himself with a string so that he doesn't fall back. And he was making so much of ibadat and dua. So I was so impressed and so taken by this that I went and I greeted him. So when we stood up for the Fajr namaz, and in those two lines, very rarely you'll get place for the Fajr namaz. So, or any namaz for that matter. So when the Fajr namaz stood up, he caught my hand and he pulled me front. So I told him, I'm also in Riyadul Jannah, why are you pulling me front? So he told me, no, you misunderstood. He said, that is not the Riyadul Jannah. These two safs, these two safs are considered as the Riyadul Jannah. So nevertheless, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's room was such that he would come out from his room, and from the room he would go right onto the musalla and start the Fajr namaz. So when a person comes into the masjid, straight onto the musalla, and he starts his Fajr namaz, your Tahiyyatul Masjid is already performed. Because in that Faraz namaz, your Tahiyyatul Masjid is already included. A person must make niyat also that in this my Tahiyyatul Masjid is taking place. But if a person had to read Sunnat namaz at home, and now he came to the masjid for Fajr, from the time that Sehri ends, right up to the point that of Ishraq, besides the two Sunnat and besides the two Faraz of Fajr, no Nafil namaz a person can perform. The only namaz that can be performed at this time is Qaza-e Umri. That also Shariat gave concession, because a person doesn't know how long he's going to live. So at that time you make your Qaza-e Umri. So when a person, he comes to the masjid and he makes his Sunnat Salah in the masjid, then in that Sunnat Salah that he's making in the masjid, his Tahiyyatul Wudu also he can make niyat of, his Tahiyyatul Masjid also he can make niyat of. Everything is completed. But for Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this wasn't the matter. He read the Sunnat at home. He opened his door straight onto the Musalla. He read the Fajr namaz. In the his Tahiyyatul Masjid was also done. So Mawlana Tanvi Rahmatullah Alaihi said, this is the reason I don't read my Sunnat namaz at home. I read my Sunnat in the masjid. But there's no problem. A person reads his Sunnat at home, 100% in order. He wants to make amal on the Sunnat, that also is in order. If a person wants to read it here also he can read it with the intention that I'll get my Tahiyyatul Masjid as well. We'll continue from here tomorrow, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq.